Hello everyone. The company I'm going to present to you today is... We all know this intro, of course. It's Netflix. So at first I would like to give you a brief overview of my presentation. It's divided in 9 steps and you can see it above on the presentation, so you still can see it even though I'm presenting. The first one is, of course, I would like to give you a brief introduction just about Netflix, then a scope and plan. Then the empathy part, my persona, the journey and empathy map, small point of view statements, then the how might we questions, and in the end, my references. So at first about Netflix. As we all know, Netflix is an online television and video streaming service, and we are all probably part of the worldwide 220.67 million subscribers. And fun fact is that Netflix was originally a DVD service, and which just sent out DVDs per mail, so you could just order it online, and at first, and then it was just sent to you. And then they developed a subscription service as well, as they do nowadays. So now to the scope and plan. That's my stakeholders map, and yeah, there are 3 very obvious stakeholders, I would say. It's the consumers, and of course the employees and the investors. And I divided industry into 3 parts because, of course, we are talking about movies, so therefore actors are playing a big role. Then the film productions, of course, and rivals are always important, as Amazon Prime or Disney Plus. So now, what opportunities did I identify? And the first one is that there's a gigantic supply of movies and series on Netflix, and therefore it's so hard to decide which one is worth watching and which not. And yeah, another thing is that Netflix is not the only streaming platform you need. So if, for instance, if you want to watch Star Wars, you need Disney Plus nowadays, or if you want to watch the Grand Tour, you need Amazon Prime. So therefore, it's not. Yeah, there are a lot of rivals, and you need them as well. So the next part is that movies disappear all of a sudden, or can disappear all of a sudden. So if you are watching, for example, a movie, and it's just possible that it's not there the next day because of issues with rights, for instance. And another thing is that you can't rely on the Netflix rating system. I get to that later, and but it's a really important part, I'd say. So now the empathy part. I interviewed 2 of my friends. The one is my best friend Kaio, and the other one is my girlfriend Feli. And I asked them 3 questions I'm going to show you in the following. The first one is Netflix your main video streaming service? And really straightforward, both said that they prefer Netflix and it's their main video streaming service, but followed by Amazon Prime and Disney Plus. The second question I asked was, what are your personal reasons you mainly use it? In that case, only mainly use it, not use it. And the first one, which both said, was design. And of course, it's super important how well a page or a service is designed, because it's just about that. And yeah, both mentioned that they would prefer Netflix in comparison to the other streaming platforms. Another thing was that, of course, especially my girlfriend mentioned that her favorite series are on Netflix, so therefore she prefers that. Another thing, which isn't that obvious at first, is that there's no paywall anymore if you already subscribe to Netflix. For instance, at Amazon Prime, if you are searching for a movie, it might be that there is a paywall and that you have to pay even more money upon your subscription. And the last part is that it's just working. And of course, it seems very obvious, but it's very important because there's so many TV channels I know who try to develop something like Netflix, and it's just not as good as Netflix because it's just not working. And yeah, of course, you wouldn't subscribe to something which isn't working well. The third question is, what are your personal issues you faced? And the first one was, as already mentioned, the rating system. It's super important because, of course, if you can't rely on the rating system, or if you don't understand it, and that's which I've heard from both, is the most significant thing in that case, is that it's just so bad because it's about percentage, and you can't really, you don't really know what that means, or it's not as easy as stars. And yeah, that's a big issue. And another thing which was mentioned that is nowadays every new movie or series is horror or psycho, and yeah, that's of course not as good. Another thing is that there's a too wide range of movies and series. I already mentioned that as well, and therefore it's hard to decide what to watch. Another thing is it's too expensive, and there's no watch party integrated. And with that, I mean that, for instance, Amazon Prime got something like that, that you can just, especially during COVID, that was really important, that you just can watch together with your friends, even though they're not in the same room. And that's a really great thing, which Netflix still misses. So now to my core user. That's my persona. It's Sophia Belfast. She's 25 years old, and she's a creative director in an advertising agency. And she's single, lives in Toronto, Canada, and she's open-minded, more introverted, loves her habits, is honest and humorous. About Sophia, Sophia was always most comfortable at home with her family. As she was little, she always binged watched every TV series together with her younger sister. Today, she likes to go out for drinks with her friends, but not too often. Most of the time, she prepares herself something nice to eat and watches one of her favorite series, Gilmore Girls or Gossip Girl. Her frustrations are especially that, for instance, Disney, her favorite platform, is now another streaming service. And the second part of her frustrations is that she watches just the same series over and over because she can't find a new one. So that's my journey map. And it starts, of course, the user, for instance, just is searching or Googling a movie and finds out where to watch it. And now, in our example, it's probably Netflix. Then, of course, it's possible to see a trailer on YouTube, a Netflix trailer about a movie or something. And those are my examples for touch points. Then, in the second part, you would probably subscribe to Netflix and watch movies or series you heard of and or you know. And in the third part, you already probably would watch recommended movies by friends or even Netflix, and probably already get in touch with Netflix originals. And the fourth part is then that you just fell in love with originals. For instance, Stranger Things. And Netflix is now something you must have. So that's my empathy map. And you already heard something about Sophia. Sophia would say Netflix is too expensive, and the rating system is not accurate. And have you seen the new show on Netflix? But what she does is that she just watches Gilmore Girls again, and she just doesn't give feedback, even though she's complaining about the rating system, and she searches for similar shows over and over. And what she thinks is that it's too expensive, and I want to watch a new movie. What she feels is all new movies are horror, psycho, and she's overwhelmed about the wide range. So that's the point of view statement. Sophia is an overwhelmed Netflix user who usually watches old series again and again because she can't find or decide about new series which fits her expectations so that she feels comfortable. And those are the how might we questions which came up. And the first one is how might we develop a better recommendation system? How might we develop a working rating system? How might we develop an acceptable price? Or how might we attract users to new movies? Those are my references I used, and thank you so much for listening. Bye.